Bitcoin hit $78,000 this morning, and all of a sudden, the markets feel like they just changed overnight. The Clarity Act is close, according to JP Morgan. The Strait of Hormuz is officially open again. Stocks just bounced to new all-time highs. Oil has crashed over 30% in 10 days, and Michael Saylor is officially back above his break-even price. The real question, though, is this the beginning of the new bull market or a historic fake out? That's what we're all thinking. Anyways, let's get through a lot of this source material. So obviously, when you think about what happens in the Bitcoin price, you're always looking for, like, what are the catalysts? What are the reasons for this price movement that we're seeing right now? And we've been hearing a lot of different takes. Some of them have been, hey, the Clarity Act is, once it passes, price is going to go up a lot. Obviously, the macro geopolitical uncertainty. And then just general sentiment of people actually buying Bitcoin and stepping back into the market, which really is a tail end of the general macro uncertainty. But anyways, let's get into this. So yesterday, or actually this came out on Wednesday, but it was really circulating yesterday. JP Morgan says the Clarity Act is nearing the finish line as talks advance. Lawmakers have reportedly reduced their disagreements to just a few issues. The long-standing effort to create a formal set of rules for the American cryptocurrency market is entering the final stages. According to a new report from JP Morgan Chase, which I did, fact check, I did try to go find it for you guys. The much-anticipated Clarity Act is nearing a significant breakthrough as lawmakers and regulators resolve their primary disagreements. So after this talk here, there's been really, from our perspective, wow, my voice cried. From our perspective, there's been one key issue that's been stopping the Clarity Act, and that is, of course, the stablecoin yield. Well, it seems like that is resolved. From what we're hearing, from the speculation, maybe the insider leaks, it seems like the banks have finally come to the table and they've agreed with Coinbase over the stablecoin yield. And the other points, which didn't really get as much, fanfare, there's about like 10, 11 other points that were really being discussed. Well, it seems like, excuse me, guys, it seems like we've gotten from about 12 disputed points now to the final 2 to 3. And we did hear yesterday that now the essential, deadline here is still not going to be the end of April, but it seems like we might get something by the end of April, and then they're hoping that by the summer. So maybe this is one of the catalysts. Maybe investors are starting to feel like, okay, this is going to happen. The Clarity Act's going to pass. Now I can actually start to, in bulk, in size, get into Bitcoin. Maybe that's one of the catalysts. But I think probably the bigger catalyst is that the Strait of Hormuz is officially back open. And I'll show you guys the Trump tweets in regards to this so that we can kind of speculate over what exactly is going on. But here we go. Here is Donald Trump tweeting this morning at 9:57, and it goes, "The U.S. will get all nuclear dust," quotes, "created by our great B-2 bombers. No money will exchange hands in any way, shape, or form. The deal is in no way subject to Lebanon either, but the U.S. will separately work with Lebanon and deal with the Hezbollah situation in an appropriate manner. Israel will not be bombing Lebanon any longer. They are prohibited from doing so by the U.S. Enough is enough." And then later on, it was the Strait of Hormuz. Here we go. "Now that the Hormuz Strait situation is over, I received a call from NATO asking if we would need some help. In all caps, I told them to stay away unless they just want to load up their ships with oil. They were useless when needed. A paper tiger, President Donald J. Trump." Again, further, Iran has agreed to never close the Strait of Hormuz again. It will no longer be used as a weapon against the world. President Donald J. Trump. Now, I think this is probably the biggest catalyst for what's going on. As we know, when there is general market uncertainty, geopolitical tension, people retreat and they go into what they're most comfortable with, which is obviously cash. And I've showed you guys the data points. I've showed you guys the extreme amount of capital that is in cash. And now maybe we're starting to see that capital is starting to go back into the markets. And just to kind of show you what is actually going on with that, we should definitely go look at what's going on with stocks. So here is the S&P 500, and look at this tear, guys. This is literally a ridiculous chart here. Oh, wait, I didn't pull it up. Look at this tear right here on S&P 500 the last couple of days. Huge gap up, and now all-time highs. So we've all been watching what's going on in stocks and equities because obviously, as Trump has said in the past, he is totally looking at the stock market as an indicator of how he's doing as a president. Well, it seems like equities, it seems like stocks are responding very favorably to this idea that the Strait of Hormuz is back open. Maybe we did avert geopolitical global calamity because now it seems like, hey, I know you guys don't like to say it, and I know I'm not a plan truster, but maybe this was Trump's plan all along. I don't know, guys. It seems to be working out. And yes, I can hear Down Under Blues yelling at me in the chat. It's like, you guys have been flip-flopping on this. Hey, well, you know, we're just watching the markets, and the markets have been literally whipsawing here. And then here we go. We got the NASDAQ QQQ, similar. All-time highs. It's ripping pretty much in the same fashion. And then I will find you guys a Dow Jones, and we are almost back at that infamous $50,000 price point. Everything is ripping right now. Everything is going up in terms of stocks and equities. So I think the geopolitical uncertainty of the Strait of Hormuz closing is probably the biggest catalyst for what we're seeing this morning. And here I will show you the Bitcoin price, because I know, actually, we'll do the 1 minute chart just because I know you guys like it. You guys can see there. It's doing all right. Here is kind of the, what is this? 76, 75K breakthrough. It's looking very strong. It's looking very healthy. Now, the big question in terms of Bitcoin is this the breakout, or are we seeing the final bull trap, the final kind of, hey, you know, as Nico was probably going to say, the dead cat bounce here. But on that note, you know, here is the liquidations from this morning. You can see in the last 24 hours, we've seen about $360 million in shorts liquidated. You can see the liquidation map here. Another chart, kind of interesting price points above 78. If we break through 78, then we're probably going higher. And I saw a lot of people saying that 80K by the end of the day, but we'll see. Who knows? All I'm saying is price moves up, we all start feeling a little better. Now, on that note, going over to the strategy dashboard, remember the big concern about Michael Saylor being liquidated because the price dropped under 75K. Well, as you can tell, as you can probably guess, he's back in the green, guys. So his $60 billion in Bitcoin reserve is now finally back positive. He's at a 4% gain, or 4.37% gain. So the biggest bull right now, and constantly still buying. Actually, I didn't even check the stretch numbers this morning. Maybe I'll pull that up when Nico goes. And then another kind of indicator of where we are, the negative funding rates hit yearly high as Bitcoin tests 76. So Bitcoin's recent rally towards 76,000 faces a dilemma, leaving investors split on its near-term outlook. Funding rates for Bitcoin, a fee paid by derivatives trader. Wow, dude, I'm like going through puberty today. Derivatives trader to maintain the alignment between spot and futures prices have remained negative for over a month and hit the highest level this year, according to CoinGlass data. Negative funding rates indicate investors are shorting the recent rally with the expectation of a reversal. The divergence between bearish derivatives positioning and bullish spot catalyst sets up a potential short squeeze or a bull trap, depending on which side breaks first. Funding rates this negative tell you the market is heavily short. It really correlates to we might have seen the bottom, guys. We might have passed the bottom. It's basically the TLDR of this. I don't want to jinx it. Everyone, like, we can't say that, guys. You know, we can't actually say that because now the algo traders are going to short everyone because we're all feeling good. But hey, we might be out of the woods, Nico. We might be out of the woods, and now here's the bearish take, probably. No, he was actually bullish this morning.
It's not the bearish take. I'm just pull this up. Sailor posting this morning an AI image of him on his yacht, Bitcoin and chill. You know, once again, a vindication for Saylor. But what I will say is, like, look, guys, we had 5 months of negative price action. I mean, like, that is basically unheard of in Bitcoin terms, right? You don't have 5 months of negative price action. So inevitably, there was going to be some type of bounce. And I just want to kind of walk you guys through the vibes, right? What were the vibes last week and the week before? The vibes were not good. It was like, you know, typical of what you would see like near a bottom, right? Like you would sense the apathy, the excitement was just taken out of the room. And all of a sudden, right, with Trump kind of, I don't know if he's doing this on purpose, because I was on record. You guys heard me saying this. I was like, look, like the Strait of Hormuz situation, like that's very difficult. I don't know how he's going to get that strait open. But it seems like, again, he's leveraging Lebanon, right? Because that's something that's very important for Iran and Hezbollah in that specific region. And, you know, he did it, right? He opened the Strait of Hormuz. I think the market, including myself, did not believe he was going to be able to do that. He did that. And of course, for energy markets, as you saw, oil, you know, dropped 30%. And the markets are reacting to the news of
straight opening. Now, of course, you know, the S&P, right? The S&P or the NASDAQ?
Both the ribbon.
They hit all-time highs?
S&P 500 and NASDAQ hit all-time highs. Dow Jones is almost at all-time highs.
That's kind of like a big deal. Now, I think on the question on everybody's mind is, right, and this is what, you know, the like famous or very popular, let me rephrase that, very popular kind of TA experts in the Bitcoin community. They're basically like Bob Lucas and Benjamin Cohen from Into the Cryptoverse. They're basically making the case that, listen, this is normal in bear markets. You tend to have these types of bounces before Bitcoin hits new lows. Now, I don't want to take the excitement out of the room. I still think it's really, really good that we're seeing Bitcoin tear up, you know, back to, you know, the 78, 80K region. I think it will tap 80K. The question, though, on everybody's minds is this the end? Did we really just bottom out? Did we really just bottom out? Was 60K, 58K, you know, that region, was that the cycle bottom? If that is the case, again, as I've been saying for many months now, we truly are in uncharted territory, no pun intended, because again, this would break the halving cycle theory completely, because Bitcoin would have bottomed out a lot earlier than what it would typically bottom out. Typically, it bottoms out about a year after the peak, which would mean that the bottom would be around October of this year. So could this be, you know, a dead cat bounce, a bull trap, so to speak? It could potentially be that. But I will say is, like, cherish this day. You know, remember, it reminds you that Bitcoin does go up, right? That there is a number go up. And also pat yourself on the back, because we did go through
well, it's a little early to pat ourselves on the back.
No, but it's good to celebrate, live in the moment, man. We did go through 5 months of literally Bitcoin continue to go down month after month after month after month after month. That is now broken. Now, again, to bring a little bit of reality back into the room, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is typical in Bitcoin bear markets. We do have these types of bounces, right? This is normal. But if the S&P and if the NASDAQ continue to tear, I don't see a world where Bitcoin continues to go down, because it's so integrated into the traditional market. So, you know, this time actually could be different. And another thing that I'll mention too is a lot of these analysts, not to mention any names, they were wrong on the kind of euphoric top that was potentially going to happen in October, and it never came about. So we had this top on apathy, right? So if we had a top on apathy that has never happened in Bitcoin's history, this has never happened. It's completely unprecedented. You can make a very solid argument that the bottom is going to look a little bit different, because if you didn't have that euphoric blow off top, right, are you really going to see that 70% correction to the downside, right? And again, we're just observers here. We're on the journey with you guys, but this could be uncharted territory. We are already in uncharted territory. Now, the thing that excites me the most, and Opti talked a little bit about this earlier, is the fact that now you have these massive banks, right? You have brokerages like Charles Schwab, you have JP Morgan, you have Morgan Stanley, you have Citibank. And while all of this bear price action was happening, they were making crazy announcements, right? About them. Oh, now I can mention this. And Goldman Sachs, right? One of the most conservative wealth management banks in the world, right? And they have a lot of money under management. While this bear market was happening, they were releasing Bitcoin focused products, right? And Morgan Stanley is actually going to be, and we had the CEO of Bitcoin Magazine on, I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday,
something like that,
Brandon Green. And I remember we were going through the speaker list and he was like, Nico, you forgot to mention Amy, and Amy is the head of digital assets at Morgan Stanley, and she's going to be making an appearance at the Bitcoin conference. So not only do you have the head of the SEC, the head of the CFTC, which again, were some of the biggest enemies of Bitcoin during the previous cycles, you now have the head of digital assets from one of the United States' biggest banks making an appearance at the Bitcoin conference. Do you think she's doing this out of the goodness of their heart? Do you think Morgan Stanley's doing it out of the goodness of their heart? No, absolutely not. They're attracted to number go up technology. They see the writing on the wall. This is the most successful ETF launch in Morgan Stanley's history. It's very similar to BlackRock, right? So again, everyone's getting kind of pulled into number go up technology. And this is why this time could be different. But I say that with an asterisk, because every single time we say that, this time ends up not being different, right? So it could be that, again, we're having, a pump before the sell in May and then go away.
Yeah,
it could be the situation. Or Bitcoin could actually finally break this halving cycle theory. And if it breaks that halving cycle theory, at this point, every other theory has been broken, right? All the top indicators that were supposed to hit last cycle were never hit. They were all broken, right? I think you could make the case that the power law, but again, they kind of moved the goalposts with the power law a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan
right?
of the power law.
So there's really no indicator for Bitcoin's price action if it breaks. I'm going to be convinced if we go above $100,000. If we go above $100,000 in the next month, I'm going to be like, okay, I think that there's a good possibility that that 60K was the bottom. And I think that we could end the year, in new highs, which again would be completely uncharted territory. This has never happened before. But if you pay attention to the fundamentals, if you pay attention to the parties that are getting involved in Bitcoin, if you pay attention to the fact that President Trump and his entire family have massive holdings in this asset, they have companies associated to the asset. I mean, dude, it wouldn't be surprising either. So that's the really big question that I want you guys to take away from today's show. Is the cycle theory dead? Is the 4-year cycle theory dead? We should release a poll, Opti. Why don't you do that?
Before I do that, I do have to acknowledge what the chat is acknowledging, that you have finally co-opted my thesis here. So, hey, it took a while, guys, but we finally got him around. But I do want to mention, though, even though we're all feeling kind of bullish today, we're feeling good. Obviously, we're all kind of looking back at our first principles right now. We do have to remember that this is very normal when we see kind of the end of a bear market, if that's where we are, or it could be a bull trap. Like, we could have a little frothy price action, like Nico said, and then sell in May, and then we pull back a little bit. That would still, I think, be very normal and very healthy in the markets, and we've seen that happen before. So before we just get too excited celebrating that, oh, we're finally back. You know, we're going to go to 100K by end of day. I think it is very important for us to kind of chill out and you know, zen out a little bit, because it's a very big question right now of, is this the breakout? Are we finally breaking out? We did break out of that downtrend from around October, which is very strong movement. It's very positive, but it's not going to just start ripping right now. So, you know, I think everyone's very cautious. Me and Nico were talking with Luke this morning. He's bullish. He's also a little cautious. He's all thinking like, at what number am I going to get very bullish? I think he said somewhere around like 86K. Me and Nico are just like, yeah, you know, that's probably not the best place to be buying if you're trying to get back in the markets and get in bulk here. If you're trying to get back in the market in size, it's probably not the best idea to go all in right now. Probably the best idea is to DCA, like everyone's been saying, and we always continue to reiterate. Like, I wouldn't go all in right now because it's still very uncertain. It could go lower. This could be a bull trap or dead cat bounce, however you want to frame it. But it is starting to feel a little frothy. It is starting to feel a little bullish in here. Like, if you're watching the prices of Bitcoin in a vacuum, then, you know, you're looking at that and you're like, okay, this is interesting. But in the context of all of the markets right now, I think that's probably the biggest signal. If you're looking at all the markets and everything's going up, then you'd kind of expect that Bitcoin would also very healthily move as well. So I wouldn't just, you know, get super bullish and put like the HELOC on your house and, you know, all of those things that people start saying in a bull run. But it is very, very good price movement. The markets feel good overall. It seems like the geopolitical mess is finally behind us, at least for now. So it's feeling pretty good, but just don't get too excited. You know, don't get over your skis here. But now might be a good time to, if you have been sitting on cash, to get into the market and start to DCA and start to, you know, get your position back, because this could be it, is basically what we're saying. You know, TA for the day. It might go up. It might go down. I don't know.
Absolutely. And by the way, guys, we started the show a little bit early today because we have a special guest who's joining us. We have Aydin, who's the CEO of Hive Digital Technologies. They have a very exciting announcement, and I'm really looking forward to that conversation. And it's going to be fantastic. So he's going to be joining us in a little bit. Hive Digital announces private offering of 75 million of exchangeable senior notes due in 2031. And actually, they raised it up. Now it's not 75. Now it's up. Now it's 100 million. So really excited to talk about that. Aydin's going to be joining us in about 15 minutes or so. So going back to the conversation, Opti, you know, this is crazy. I mean, is Trump playing 4D chess?
I don't like to say it
because, like,
I don't like to be a plan truster, but man,
I want to pull up like
it do be looking like that.
I want to pull up Matteo, the CEO of Orange Palap. I want to pull up his meme because I think it's super fitting for this specifically. Matteo posted this. I think it's, you know, it's hilarious. I'm not ready to give up on this man. And of course, it's Trump's famous picture from the assassination attempt before he got up and said famously, fight, 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 fight. And I got to say, like, I was, you know, I'm going to label myself Opti. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for the views. I'm going to do it for the audience. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I was a little bit of a panicking, bro. I was a little bit of a panicking. I'm the first one to say it, man, because I was just like, dude, like, this is such a terrible situation. I don't know how he's going to get himself out of this. Israel's not going to want to end the war, you know, because they have larger plans in the region, which, of course, you can't blame them. And of course, the United States was involved, but it seems like the United States is seeing this and they're saying, like, look, like, this is horrible for energy markets. This is horrible for energy markets. This is horrible for markets in general. And it kind of forced the president's hand to make a deal with Iran. Like that, and I did not believe he was going to be able to do that. I went on record last week and I said, I don't think he's going to be able to do that. Like, I don't know what leverage he has, but it seems like he was able to pull it off. Right. And Trump has had this record, man, of overcoming these crazy obstacles that he hasn't had to live through during his political career. And, it seems like he overcame it, and it seems like the markets are responding in kind. Now, the question that I have for you guys, which is what we saw during Trump's first year in office, is we saw something very similar regarding every single time the price would pump, he would like fat finger on Truth Social, talk about all these tariffs. The price would drop like 50%, including the markets. Right. And now we find ourselves in a very similar situation. So, like, did Trump just bomb Iran to destroy Iran's mining infrastructure, dump the price of everything and just buy the dip? like I know that's a crazy stretch to say.
Well, it is what Tom Luongo has been saying.
Did Tom Luongo really say that?
Well, Tom Luongo has basically been saying, and he got a lot of flack for this. As I've been telling you guys, there's kind of two different theses playing out right now. It depends on what side of the aisle you are, or rather who you're listening to, that are kind of Bitcoiners that have been analyzing the geopolitical situation. It is like Simon Dixon on one side and Tom Luongo on the other side. And their fundamentals, like their first principles, are pretty similar. It's just their conclusions that are different. And Tom Luongo has been reiterating the point that he's like, yo, this has all been planned. He has been getting a lot of flack because he is kind of been a planned truster. But from my perspective, at least in this current moment, I have been siding a lot more with Tom Luongo's thesis. I do like Simon Dixon. We're actually going to Nico did an interview with Simon Dixon this week, so that's going to pop out this weekend. But Tom Luongo has been saying, he's like, yo, this is all planned. This is all to, get basically
control away from the city of London.
Exactly. Yeah. And now the chat freaked out on me the other day when I was mentioning, I think it was Monday, when I was mentioning that the most interesting thing that happened over the weekend was that we saw all of the oil tankers leaving the Strait of Hormuz and going into the Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico, whatever you want to call it. And to me, that was the most interesting thing that led to me kind of leaning more towards Tom Luongo, that this did seem like the master plan. And I saw this interesting Instagram reel, and I was thinking about playing it for you guys on the show. I don't know if you saw it, but the headline of it was like, what if Trump's plan was to, quote, lose the war in Iran, because he wanted the skirmish. And now, as we've seen, a result of that is the U.S. is now basically the biggest oil exporter. The petrodollar system is still in place and probably stronger than ever.
But not only that, dude,
it's very interesting.
Like, the NASDAQ is reaching all-time highs. Right? Like the NASDAQ is reaching all-time highs.
SP 500, NASDAQ, Dow almost.
We could have never have imagined that, a week ago. It was like inconceivable. The game theory didn't make sense. It seemed like Iran had all the cards, right? Like they had this warfare asymmetry where it cost them so little to produce these drones that again could threaten the crossing of ships through the Strait of Hormuz. And it just seemed like there was no card there to play. But all of a sudden the strait is open now. Markets are at all-time highs. Right. And again, Iran's leadership has been taken out. Right. So, from like, did the United States lose the war in that regard? It's like they definitely damaged Iran's infrastructure.
Well, maybe it's lost the battle, but won the war.
Iran's hash rate dropped by like, I don't know how much.
77%.
Like, hash rate dropped by 77%. The stock market is making all-time highs. I'm sure gas prices are going to start going down. So again, Nico's been watching too much Glenn Beck. Dude, I'm just observing here. I'm just
wait. Before you go, I do have to agree with the chat, bro.
You think this wasn't planned?
Well, no. I have to agree with the chat and with you that you were.
I don't even know what the chat is saying.
You said basically that you were a little bit of a panicking, and the chat was losing it on you when you were doing your politics stuff.
That's why I said it.
Because they're like, Nico's been watching way too much mainstream media coverage.
I don't watch mainstream media, but the panicking meme makes it to it makes it on X. Like you hear the panicking memes, right? Like that's the whole, that's the whole defense by by the White House. It's like, don't be a panicking. Don't be a panicking. At this point, it's like, the Strait of Hormuz is open. It seems like the war is essentially done. Iranian leadership.
Well, it's a ceasefire. It's another 10-day ceasefire, at least for now.
Yeah, but we've seen Trump play this card before.
I agree.
He did it with the tariffs. It's like, we're going to stop the 50% tariffs for 10 days. Right. So it seems like he's like, pulling these strings that we're just not aware of. Like
the real test is going to be tonight. Dude. I'm sure there's going to be a tweet and it's going to be the complete opposite about what, totally. Oh, wait, they didn't close it. We're going to go in again. Who knows? That's going to be the interesting part, is watching tonight and seeing if there's a complete 180 on the ceasefire and the Strait of Hormuz being open.
But right now, it just seems like it seems like the trust the plan people
kind of right
are getting it right.
Hey, wait, before we go, it's one of those things of I saw a good meme.
I mean, bro, like even the guy who can't be named, very popular Rumble live streamer, like he got it wrong. He got it wrong.
Hey, yo, crazy.
He got it wrong.
But I saw this tweet.
No, but he did get it wrong.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't resolved yet. We haven't. I mean, let's not be too quick to say this is over yet. But it does seem like this, at least according to the president, that the Strait of Hormuz is going to maintain being open. But it is interesting when you think about it.
But hold on. It's not just him saying that, dude. Well, one thing is him saying that, but like the ultimate source of truth are markets.
Yeah,
it's not just him saying that. Markets actually believe.
Yeah, and
that actually happened.
I agree. But the interesting part is, we did the war in Iran, allegedly over nuclear power. The Strait of Hormuz was open before the war, and then we literally just got back to what we had before the war to get the Strait of Hormuz open.
But I don't think so, because think about what they've achieved, right? They really hurt Iran's infrastructure. They took out the leadership, right, which is part of the goal. The stock market is making all-time highs. Oil dropped 30%. Iran's hash rate fell by 77%. My brother, dude, maybe the stated objectives were never really the stated objectives. I'm judging the tree by its fruit. I'm judging the outcome, and the outcome actually looks very favorable to the United States.
Well, it is funny that you went full panic and now you're going full plan truster.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just observing things. I'm seeing things, bro, that are obvious to me. That's my opinion. That's just my take on all this, right? So I don't know, man. But anyways, we're gonna have Aydin Kilic, CEO of Hive Digital Technologies, joining us in about a couple minutes. So
let's hit the transition. We'll cover the numbers.
Let's do it. Yeah. Here we go. We'll be back in just a sec, guys. Today's episode is brought to you by Bitcoin Well Infinite. If you're a serious Bitcoin buyer, you've probably hit the same wall. Most platforms make you give up custody just to play by the rules. Bitcoin Well Infinite fixes that. They're North America's only publicly traded, non-custodial OTC desk listed on the TSX Venture Exchange, which means transparent operations and zero counterparty risk.
You buy Bitcoin, you take immediate control, period. For
For trades over $50,000, you get a dedicated executive Bitcoin advisor, competitive spread starting at 1%, and immediate delivery straight to your own wallet. No custody risk, no withdrawal fees, just institutional grade execution with full asset control. If you want to buy Bitcoin the right way, book a free consultation at bitcoinwell.com/OTC or email infinite@bitcoinwell.com.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, Stampseed. Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Are your seed phrases really secure? Stampseed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you'll need for you to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates instead of just writing them down on paper. Paper is fragile. Titanium plates are strong. Your words are actually stamped into the titanium plate with this hammer and these letter stamping tools. Once the words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamp seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. And now you can customize your titanium seed plates. You can upload your design or logo, and they will laser engrave it on the back of your seed plate, the opposite side of where the words are. Stamp your seed on Stampseed and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the stampseed.com store.
All right, everybody, we are back. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is $78,080. Sats per dollar, 1,281. Block height, 945,498. Realized monetary inflation, 0.83%. Market cap, 1.56 trillion. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 5.21%. Percentage issued, 95.31%. Decline from all-time high, negative 38.1%. So we're still quite a bit from the top, man. If you're buying Bitcoin right now, you're getting a 38% discount. So that's a pretty big discount if you're buying Bitcoin right now and you're thinking long term, of course. But anyways, I do want to play this clip. I found it quite interesting. It was in reference to Charles Schwab. So Charles Schwab CEO says the platform has already rolled out Bitcoin trading internally with employees actively trading. Customer access is set to launch in the coming weeks. Bitcoin is going mainstream. Let's check it out. Again, all of this is happening during supposed bear market action. Let's check it out.
Well, we rolled it out to employees to test it and pilot it, and our employees are loving the experience and actively trading on Schwab.com today with crypto. And we'll launch it out. We'll launch it to clients in the coming weeks. Couldn't be more excited about that. In terms of the target client, I think it's existing clients at Schwab that want to hold crypto. They're already active in crypto through exchange-traded products today, and they want to hold spot crypto. We also are excited about the fact that many of our clients have built crypto positions outside the firm, and they've been asking to be able to hold it at Schwab, at the institution they trust and the institution where they keep the rest of their assets. And so to have their financial life in one place is attractive to them, and we can't wait to make that happen when we open it to them in the coming weeks.
I also wanted to follow up on the teen accounts that you're doing. I mean, clearly there's demand that you want to lock in younger investors. Yet last week, Bank of New York Mellon and Robinhood announced that they were participating in the Trump accounts, and I wonder if you see this as competitive now, this play to lock in kids early and take that kind of share.
Well, our mission is to make clients better off in their financial life. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is to get people saving and investing early on in their life, because they get to see the power of compounding. We're huge backers of the Trump accounts. I think that was a great move. There's so many people in our country who don't get it engaged in saving and investing, and to be able to offer them at burst so they see the power of what compounding can do to your wealth and to your life, I think is an incredible move. The teen accounts will extend upon that, and we're thrilled about that. And we're thrilled to support the Trump accounts as well. We're going to match the Treasury's contribution to our employees. So we're excited about both programs and really want to do everything we can to help the young investor in our country thrive to recognize the power of saving and investing, and to be able to differentiate that from some of the messages they get on other platforms about gambling and things along those lines.
So, I mean, dude, that's pretty crazy in regards to the like, this is a massive, I mean, this is full circle Opti. For anyone that doesn't know the Opti lore, Opti originally, when we first got into the market back in the 2016, 2017 era,
it was before I even knew about Bitcoin.
Opti tried to open an account with Schwab, and they
said, "Get out of here! You're broke.
Yeah,
you can't open an account."
They denied him, and which is a good thing. It was a blessing in disguise.
100%. I wouldn't have found Bitcoin,
because then you got into Bitcoin,
yeah.
Right? But it's a full circle for you, Opti. I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah,
because they're going out there and they're saying, listen, we're rolling out Bitcoin trading for our clients. We're rolling this out. It's already live for our employees. We're rolling this out for our retail clients. And for anyone who doesn't know, Schwab is one of the largest brokerage platforms in the United States. Like, they have, a ton, they have a great reputation. That's a lot of high net worth individuals use this platform. And the fact that, again, you have Morgan Stanley launching a Bitcoin ETF, you have Citibank basically making the case that we're ready to Charles Schwab, Orange Pill Opti. That comment, that's the top
literal facts.
That's the top comment of today's show. I mean, bro, that definitely means a lot. Like, it definitely, this is full circle for you. How do you feel?
I was right. And, F Charles Schwab, but also thank you so much that I was too broke to open an account because I wouldn't have found Bitcoin. Now, part of that story is, if you haven't heard the story, is basically in 2016, I asked my friend, and there's actually 2 points here that are popping to mind now when I think about this. In 2016, I realized, like, I was broke. I was not only just financially broke, but I was mentally in a bad place. It was like my lowest point, basically, at 2016. And I asked one of my friends, who I knew his dad kind of taught him how to trade. And so I literally asked him, and there's actually funny parts of the story. I asked him, yo, hey, can you teach me about trading? And he was like, yeah, bro, like, come over. I'm like, cool, I'll buy you lunch. And he basically went like this. He's like, look, all you got to do is basically open a Charles Schwab account and watch my boy Jim Cramer on Hard Money. And now I always laugh about this because in Bitcoin, we always look at Jim Cramer. It's like inverse Cramer works every single time. He's literally selling exit liquidity as good buys. And so I always laugh about that point. But while I'm talking about this, it is interesting what Nico's been saying. Like, Charles Schwab is one of the biggest trading houses. Like, when you think of trading, most people probably think or have a Charles Schwab account, and it's like, just go to Charles Schwab, they'll take care of you. And essentially, the short of the story is, I went to Charles Schwab. I literally had to go to a physical location, and I had $250, and I'm like, I want to invest this money. This was before Robinhood. And they basically said, oh, that's cute. You need $2,500 to even open an account. And I was like, oh, thanks, dude. Just humble, tail between my legs, walked out and was like, I'm too poor to even open an account at Charles Schwab. Like, there is no hope for me. I'm never going to escape the matrix. I'm cooked. It's over. Like, I better just be happy with being a peasant for the rest of my life because I can't open an account. And then shortly after, while I still was kind of percolating on this idea.
Is this Opti vindication?
100%. Though my other question is, do you think they're still going to have $2,500 limits to buy Bitcoin? Because if that is the case, there's better places to buy Bitcoin because you can actually buy $250 of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, what is the minimum? I got to look that up in the background.
I don't think it's probably not out yet. But another point, actually.
Oh, by the way, we got the one and only Aydin Kilic joining us. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Aydin Kilic, he is the CEO of Hive Digital Technologies. He's going to be joining the show in just 1 second. I'm going to pull Aydin up on screen. Aydin, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, good to be here, Nico. Thanks for making the time.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's better.
I love it. I love it. Aydin, we got thousands of people watching. Welcome to the show.
Oh, wow.
Massive announcement for Hive. I'm gonna pull it up. Up on screen. Big announcement. Aydin, I'm gonna pull up the initial press release, but it seems like the number was increased. So I'm going to read it off screen. Hive Digital announces private offering of 75 million of exchangeable senior notes due in 2031. That number is not 75 million anymore. It's 100 million. Let me hit the Aydin, this is a big deal. Congratulations, first of all. Could you walk us through this?
Yeah. So, Nico, we're incredibly happy with the outcome. I think it's a reflection of the support that the investor base sees, because when you get a zero coupon, this is a exchangeable note that there's no interest in, and really the upside is in the conversion premium. Fundamentally, these are a new type of security, so it also gives more liquidity and exposure to a different class of investors that invest in convertible bonds. So we're really pleased with the outcome. There was, of course, I can't speak to the exact figures yet, but clearly the fact that it was upsized from $75 million to $100 million shows that there was incredibly strong demand. And really, it's a catalyst for us to accelerate all our initiatives that we have going this year for the business. And we've presented I was at the Roth conference, I was at the Cantor conference. I've done a virtual with Joe Vaffy at Canaccord. So the update and story on Hive is, we ended 2025 with 20 million ARR on the HPC business, and the target's to 10x that to 200 million by the end of 2026. And so the same way that we scaled from 6 to 25 exahash in 2025 is the same way that we're going to scale from 20 to 200 million in 2026 on the HPC business. And we're builders, right? We will land bank, we build substations. It's heavy industrial, high voltage. I put out a photo on Twitter. I don't know if you guys could put my handle up there. I think it's just Aydin Kilic at Hive Digital Tech, something like that. And it was a photo of the civil work being done for the 100 megawatt expansion in Iwazoo. And you're seeing them trench, they're pouring concrete pads, because when we talk 100 megawatt substation, what that really is it's 280 MVA transformers. These things are massive. They are transported on an ocean freighter. These are going to arrive in June, and they'll be commissioned over the summer. And then you're doing site clearing. And we've bought massive tracts of land by the substation in Paraguay. So we have expanded to over 50 hectares. So that's really exciting. And coming out of the NVIDIA GTC conference, what was remarkable, we've been going now for the last 3 years. I think it's well known that we are an NVIDIA cloud partner. We've been running cloud GPUs on our cloud really since the beginning of 2023, post ETH merge. And for those that are new to the Hive story, we used to be one of the world's largest Ethereum miners. So we had 130,000 GPUs. At the peak, we represented 6% of the global hash rate for Ethereum. And that was a phenomenal business. In the best of times, it was 95% profit margin. I think on a dollar per kilowatt hour basis, I'm an electrical engineer, so I'm always going to bring it back to the physics and the fundamentals. Because Hive has always orchestrated compute, whether it was Ethereum mining, Bitcoin mining, GPU as a service. The common denominator is what is your dollar per kilowatt hour, and then from that, what is your ROI? And you get your power bills in dollar per kilowatt hour or dollar per megawatt hour. So it's just so important to understand what is your cost base and what is your top line, and as either fluctuate power contract, or depending on the variable nature of your top line. Obviously, Bitcoin mining, any crypto mining, is going to have a highly fluctuating top line represented in dollars per kilowatt hour. And so fundamentally understanding that Ethereum mining was like 90 cents a kilowatt hour in the bull markets, and maybe still 40 to 50 cents a kilowatt hour in bear markets. So GPUs, even for Ethereum mining, were 3 to 4 times more CapEx intensive, but the profit density was so much higher per watt. And so that's why in 30 megawatts in Sweden, we had 130,000 GPUs, AMD and NVIDIA. And leading into the ETH merge, we had announced in 2021 July that we bought 38,000 NVIDIA A-series cards. I'm just going to center some. How's the lighting? Maybe that's better. And I'm just in sunny San Antonio, just where Frank is. Of course, I'm going to be meeting him for dinner tonight. So we're really excited about the deal. We'll circle back on the deal shortly, but just to give a refresher to everyone that's tuned in. So we had 38,000 NVIDIA GPUs, the A-series, A40s, A6000s, and they were mining ETH. And so they were doing great. Now, when the merge hit, we took 400 of those GPUs and we put them in super micro servers and we transplanted them into tier 3 data center. And we hit $1 million ARR with 400 GPUs. And we're over $1 per kilowatt hour now. In some cases, we were getting almost $2 a kilowatt hour, which blew crypto mining out of the water when you look at that. And of course, yeah, your base operating costs are higher, but your gross operating margin is A, more stable, and B, higher as a result of the very high profit density from GPUs as a service. And so, of course, we scaled that. We got 4,000 GPUs going, grew that to 10 million ARR on the GPU cloud business, which I think was remarkable. And we then saw something really interesting. We had 38,000 of these NVIDIA GPUs. We had 4,000 that we put on GPUs as a service, and we hit that 10 million. And so the remainder of the 34,000, we were getting inbounds, like reverse inquiries, to have these cards. We're getting offers at 90% of their face value.
No way.
Like 3 years after the fact.
Wow. So there was no depreciation. And just to explain it to the audience, right? Initially, you guys were using this to mine Ethereum, and then you guys took that hardware and you used it to essentially service the AI business, right? So you guys guys took pre-existing hardware to service the AI business, and then because these LLMs, like there's just so much demand, the depreciation of the hardware didn't happen as if it normally would, right? You would have this crazy depreciation. So despite you guys using these cards for 3 years, taking them away from Ethereum, using them for the AI business, while of course simultaneously, because Hive is a dual engine, mining Bitcoin, you guys were were you comfortable selling some of these GPU chips? I mean, like, yeah. I didn't get 90% of its original value after extracting value out of these chips for 3 years. I mean, that's a hell of a business move.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why. It's because we saw a strategic inflection point where we realized we could crystallize an ROI. So those 34,000 GPUs had been mining Ethereum and then altcoins for the interim period, and we thought, okay, let's sell these net with the income that they had made from operating over those 3 years, plus getting 90% of their face value. I think they had ROI'd 40% on operations, and then we're selling them for 90%. So we're getting 130%. We're clearing 30% profit on our original investment. Then we took that capital and we bought H100s, and then we bought H200s. So we scaled up to get the newer Hopper series, and the H100s and H200s got our revenue to 20 million ARR. And, we started working with Dell and Supermicro, and all these OEMs are great. It's kind of like, there's so much overlap to the crypto mining game, because you work with Bitmain, you might work with Canaan, whatever, Supermicro. And so in AI world, yeah, it's all for the most part NVIDIA GPUs. AMD's coming out too, but really we run all NVIDIA currently. We're NVIDIA cloud partner. We're a preferred partner in their AI network. But you don't buy the GPUs from NVIDIA. You buy the GPUs from what's called an OEM, because if I just gave you a GPU, you'd be like, great, like this doesn't do anything on its own. It has to be in a server. Just like somebody, for all you guys that maybe played video games before, laptops or gaming PCs that had GPUs. You need the whole system. You need a server, and that's really what the OEM does. Dell is known as a computer company, right? So they're making enterprise grade servers. Now you're stacking 8 GPUs in there. You're going to be dealing with thermodynamics and making sure you've got a good baseband compute and all that stuff, and following NVIDIA reference architecture. I would say performance-wise, between Dell, Supermicro, HP, they're constantly evolving and trying to be better, faster, and cheaper. But the other distinguishing factor is availability and timeline, because there's so much demand. So if you've got a client, like I think right now we've got a couple $1 billion of demand, of reverse inbound enterprises. AI natives are like, hey, we'd love to get this much compute now if you can. And of course, we work with the best quality clients with the strongest backing and what we think are the best commercial terms for our business and for our shareholders. And we prioritize those, and then we go to market to source that compute and bring it online in our partnership with Bell, which we'll talk about shortly. So this is kind of how we arrived to where we are. And touching on that partnership with Bell, we announced, and Bell is the largest telecom company in Canada. It's as if you partnered with AT&T, and AT&T said, okay, Nico, you're going to be our exclusive partner. You're going to build GPU clusters. We're going to take our telecom data centers, upgrade them for liquid cooled, high power density, so you can run AI clusters. But we're in the telco data center business. You do the GPU sourcing, which is very CapEx intensive. So that's what we've done with Bell, which is remarkable. And so it gives us a massive demand funnel, because they have all their enterprise clients that they want to offer sovereign compute to. And so it's a demand funnel for us, and Bell gets a small single-digit percentage for any customers they refer to us, obviously, which are going to be very blue chip. And then on the other hand, for customers that we bring that are not through Dell, but go in these Dell data centers, because effectively we're co-locating in Bell's data centers. Why? 2 reasons. Quick time to market, because it's all, again, time and place. Like, anyone can get GPUs a year from now. Like, that's not, who can get capacity online today? And what do you need?
Yeah.
You need, it's like crypto mining. You got to have your data center complete, and you got to have your ASICs plugged in. You can't, if you have a bunch of ASICs on the floor, or your data center is almost complete, but it ain't, you're not mining, you're not hashing. So you need all your infra, and you need your compute ready and orchestrated and deployed. So the Bell partnership gives us a near-term ramp to bring online that liquid-cooled, high-power density, next-generation data center capacity immediately. And that was a big excitement a few weeks ago. We did that press release with Bell that we expanded 4x the footprint. So what that meant was we had a facility in Winnipeg, Canada, kind of in the center of Canada. It's like Manitoba is like our, help me out here, our Minnesota. What's kind of in the center of the U.S., or maybe like our Iowa. Manitoba is like our Iowa. And so there's a data center there. We stood up 500 NVIDIA Blackwell B200s, and that was a deal through Bell. And so that was a $30 million deal over 2 years, so 15 million ARR. And so we've already started ramping. So we're at 20 million ARR December 31. We're now at 35 million ARR, and we're laddering up. And this $100 million note deal is which closes next Tuesday, by the way, is going to it's going to be amazing. It's just going to be rocket fuel for us to bring online more GPU clusters in the phase 2 Bell facility in British Columbia. And so that's the big news. So now there's 12.5 megawatts of capacity in the British Merritt, BC, so on the West Coast, where I'm based. So that's super exciting. So we've got a big footprint of data center capacity ready now. It was the new capacity in Merritt was ready April 1. And we've got, 2 really exciting deals with MOUs in place for large GPU clusters that we're going to be bringing to market. And so stay tuned for updates on that as we announce the definitives. And I think it's just going to be a really great quarter, and some big news ahead. And the stock's performing really well. We're up 15% today.
Fantastic.
Like 58 million shares traded the last time I checked. So it's good to be here, man. And it's been a crazy busy week. Dozens and dozens of meetings with institutional investors, but I always got time for Simply Bitcoin.
Well, thanks for joining us, Aydin. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And again, it's the series of events blew my mind. So originally, I got the PR release, and it was 75 million. and then the updated news, it went up to 100 million. And I think the thing that's sticking out to me the most, Aydin, is the fact that you guys don't have to pay any interest on this. You guys don't have to pay anything on this until 2031. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's a 5-year bond.
So that means, again, please correct me and step in here, Aydin, if I'm wrong, but that tells me that the market is extremely confident in you guys as a company to deploy, and extremely confident in you guys to make a return on their investment, right? Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's why we were really pleased with the outcome. And so I kind of want to keep it super high level and just be mindful of, whatever was in the press release is the sort of the extent of which I can opine on, but you interpret it perfectly well. And I think that, all the feedback that we've gotten so far has been overwhelmingly positive. And, so
could you tell us, Aydin, a little bit about what you're going to use the 100 million for? Because that's a lot of money. What are you guys going to use that for?
Yeah, of course. So I mean, just to put it into context, we're all about best ROIC. Same way we targeted 1-year ROI in Bitcoin mining after cost when procuring ASICs. Same way that we acquired the 300 megawatt site in Paraguay. Well, 200 megawatts and built that out for, I think our blended average cost was 400 grand a megawatt in Paraguay. We always think, how is this going to make money for the company and the shareholders in the least dilutive way? So fundamentally, you need a low cost of capital, which we now have. I mean, it doesn't get much better than 0% coupon. And in a way, just a quick note on that, the way I think of it for myself, at least, and this is just me talking, and I'm not an investment banker, I'm an electronic engineer that's now a CEO. And I work with investment bankers all day, and they're great. But when you do an equity financing, usually you do it at a discount to your market price, right? Really, when you have a convertible note with 0 interest and a conversion at a premium, it's way better because you're basically having the money to build the business. It's way less dilutive is what I'm getting at, because instead of, if the shares convert, they're done at a premium to your price, not a discount as if you did an equity financing. So I think it's a much lower cost of capital. And then in terms of the deployment, to answer your question directly, as mentioned, there's 2 large GPU cluster deals that it's in our deck. So, we're targeting bringing on 60 million ARR plus with 1 cluster and another 60 million ARR. So again, the data center capacity, that's taken care of. It's our low CapEx strategy because we really felt like under $5 we're undervalued as a company. And so this partnership with Bell, it allows us to scale low CapEx. And then we've been meeting a lot of blue chip GPU financiers. GPUs are emerging as an asset class, Nico, which is really interesting. And what's so cool is that we're seeing a lot of our friends, shout out to Ethan at Luxor, from the crypto world that are now getting into sourcing infra for HPC, and I think that's really cool. Shout out to Kevin Zhang as well. So all our friends, because crypto mining is so entrepreneurial and everyone learns so quick. And so what we're seeing is really amazing blue chip lenders that are willing to finance GPU purchases for single digit interest, right? High single digits. And so for us, if we could get single digit interest, lease to own, and some of the earlier deals that were done in this space on a no name basis, but really expensive debt with like pref shares and all warrants and all this other SPV stuff. Like, we've not done any of that. We just want lease to own, simple straight line. What's your cost of your GPUs? You're paying single digit interest, and at the end of the term you own them. That's it. Like, no funky weird financing. And so that deal with a bit of a down payment is what the use of proceeds will be. So it'll be a down payment for each cluster, right? And that really gets each cluster funded and financed, and then we move to definitive and we bring these deals online. So again, it's just a building block. So get the data center capacity with Bell. That's announced. Funding is in place. Finance large GPU clusters. And by the way, another thing I'm going to point out, just for your kind of more like investor savvy viewers, is I spend a lot of time talking to people on Wall Street. Wall Street doesn't want to speculate on the residual value of GPUs in 2 or 3 or 4 years, even though I started with that anecdote of us selling our A40s for 90% of their cost.
Yeah, but that was I would say that was luck, because I don't think anyone knew that those hardware devices would be able to be repurposed for the incoming AI demand.
Correct. However, it is a real data point. We transacted on it. We made money. It wasn't just like, we saw something on some web page and we're like, oh, look at that, and took a screenshot and told everybody. No, we transacted on 34,000 GPUs, made that money back, and reinvested it. And just to spot check, I had Mario on our team double check, and he went back to the market to get the prices on those A40s today. Nico, those cards we bought for $4,200, and there's offers like almost $3,000 per. That's like 70%, and now they're 5 years old. Right. And here's another stat. I just confirmed this on our morning call. We huddle every day, 7 a.m. Actually, it's nice being in Texas. Our morning huddle's at 9 a.m., not 7 a.m. Like when I'm back home in Vancouver, me and Darcy always start a day super early and go super late. It's pretty common for us to knock out 12 to 15-hour days, but you got to love the game, right? It's just for the love of the game. The marketplaces. So we still have our A-series cards on demand, but going forward, all our GPUs are long-term contracts. We still have our A-series cards on demand. They just increased the prices by 10% for all our cards on the marketplaces. So H200s, $4 an hour. H100s are getting like $3 an hour. A40s getting 44 cents an hour. So still really strong demand, which is amazing. And I mean, $4 an hour for an H200 on demand. That's healthy. But going forward for these large cluster deals, the street wants to see 3-year plus deals, because if you ROI in 2.5 years, it's really simple. This might be helpful for the broader audience. If you can ROI a GPU on a fixed contract in 2.5 years, well, if your contract's 2 years, you're almost there. Now we're really confident. We're sure those GPUs are going to be worth at least half, maybe 60, 70% at the end of that term. And you can say, well, I've ROI'd the GPU like 90%. They're going to be worth 60% of what I paid for them. Net, I'm still ahead 50% on my investment. But like Wall Street doesn't want that kind of speculation. They want to know that you've signed a contract that's 100% paid off the GPUs. And then people might say, well, hold on, why would a customer sign a contract just to lease the compute for more than the cost of the GPUs? Well, because that's just the cost of GPUs. You still have to orchestrate them, install them, operate them, and that's the whole thing. And that's just a different business. The compute is way more valuable to them. They have asymmetric upside because the compute is so valuable to them in a timely manner. What I keep threading through our conversation today is time to market. So everybody wants compute today, not in 12 months.
Of course, because they don't want the GPU just unplugged without the necessary infrastructure, because HPC does require a tier 3 center. Exactly. They don't want the device on a shelf. Yep. They want to have confidence in a company's ability to not only deploy, but to have these computers online. And then that's, I think, what they assign value to.
Yep, exactly. And so the street really likes to see 3-year plus contracts. I think CoreWeave is well known for doing 5-year GPU contracts. And then you're in a pretty lofty territory. I mean, people say, oh, well, it's Cypher and Wolf are getting the best multiples because they're doing colo. And I get that narrative. I understand Core Scientific wants to get a $1 billion NOI just from multiple long-term co-location leases, just selling powered shell. And then you become like a digital realty and you get crazy multiples. That we fully get that. And guess what? We still have New Brunswick. We still have our Toronto airport site. We still have Little Bowden. So these are all like Little Bowden. We did a trip a couple years ago. We flew out a bunch of analysts to tour the site. It's a beautiful data center. Like not all data centers are built equally. It is a GPU data center. And that one is a great candidate. Bowden's a military town, by the way. Our Toronto airport data center also is not a crypto mine. It was an enterprise data center that we bought. amazing proximity, a lot of reverse demand on that. It's only 7 megawatts, but when you co-locate, that's a beautiful edge site. So right now, military and certain industries, enterprises have high demand for edge sites. Edge sites meaning kind of in cities, so really good proximity, and they don't need to be big. Those are edge sites, strong demand. And of course, yeah, like people say, oh, but if it's not a 300 megawatt site, then, well, there's only 5 hyperscalers on the planet, really, that are buying those. And sure, they have massive demand, but there's huge demand for 30 megawatt and 80 megawatt data centers and everything in between. So we've got some exciting things in the pipeline, which we've talked about, by the way. A lot of this is in our investor presentations. You watch our earnings webcast, you'll see all these details. And we are going to be building up the HPC colo revenue stream as well, and I think that'll be really exciting. But the excitement for today: get these large GPU clusters online, ramp that that GPU cloud ARR from 20, we're at 35 million now, to north of 150 million. Wow. Get that out, and we still have GPUs incoming for Winnipeg. We hope to do 500 GPUs a quarter. Again, this is all in our projections in the investor deck. So net with everything in the pipeline. The target is 200 million ARR on the GPU cloud business. And then we've got approximately another 100 million between the New Brunswick site, Toronto, and Little Bowden, which would be 2027 to bring online that compute as we retrofit those data centers. They're all functioning today. Toronto, Bowden, and New Brunswick are functioning as tier 1 crypto mining operations today. And we'll go through and we'll provide the street more updates on that, which is really exciting too. So I think I've covered it. Oh, we didn't really talk about Paraguay, but you'll have to.
One final announcement as well. You guys are now on the Toronto exchange, not the TSX Venture exchange. You guys are on the Toronto exchange. Is that correct?
Yeah, man. We're in the major leagues now. We're in NASDAQ. On NASDAQ, 90% of our volume. So effective April 1st, well, actually a U.S. domestic filer. So U.S. domestic filer, we file U.S. GAAP. Our principal executive office is here in San Antonio. But as far as our Canadian liquidity, we have now graduated to the big board as well. So
fantastic.
Go big or go home, baby.
Yeah, fantastic. In Canada, in Colombia too, and of course in the NASDAQ as well, which I was there for the closing bell ceremony, which was fantastic. Aydin Kilic, everybody, one of the smartest minds in the industry, president and CEO of Hive Digital Technologies. Hive was literally the first publicly traded Bitcoin miner. And again, it's a dual engine. So not only are they a Bitcoin miner, they are an AI machine. And Aydin just laid out their future plans for the next couple quarters. Aydin, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us and breaking it all down. I always enjoy our conversations, and I'm going to see you in Vegas in a week, which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah,
so we're going to have 2 conversations back to back, and of course, we're going to be releasing all of this on the Simply Bitcoin channel. And of course, the Hive merch is amazing. I'm wearing the Hive vest on right now.
Those vests are only for the executives. You know, the fact that you got that, you're part of the extended family, man. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I wear it every time you guys come on the show. But Aydin, thank you so much for joining us, man. Thank you. Enjoy your Friday and enjoy the weekend. And I'll see you in Vegas.
Yeah. And I just want to give a special shout out to Frank Holmes, our executive chairman, co-founder, Darcy DeBarris. Darcy and I, we cranked through dozens of investor meetings together, and our team is functioning. We just keep evolving. We have a really high performance work culture at Hive. We've attracted incredible talent, and I'm so excited for what we have ahead. We're the longest standing C-suite, and 2 Bitcoin halvings and Ethereum merge. We built our own ASIC miners, just first to put the income on GPU cloud on our income statement. So it's going to be awesome. We'll see you in Vegas, Nico. Thank you for taking the time. And it's always a pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Aydin. Appreciate it. All right, guys, we're going to be right back after the break. Go check out HiveDigitalTechnologies.com and then go check out their ticker on the NASDAQ, Hive. Aydin, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to our partner, Ledin. Here's something most Bitcoin holders never figure out until it's too late. You're sitting on wealth you can't touch without selling. Ledin fixes that. Bitcoin-backed loans. You keep your stack, you get cash. And they just introduced their lowest rates ever. No complexity, no fine print. The larger the loan, the lower the rate.
These new rates apply to all new loans, refinances, and renewals. You'll see all the rates up front before you apply. The new, lower rates come with Ledin's gold standard protection. Your Bitcoin remains custodied and is never lent out for interest. Perfect 8-year track record of keeping clients' assets safe. Auto top-ups, LTV alerts, and partial repayments to keep you in control. Repay whenever you want with zero penalties or monthly payments. Ledin's perfect $10 billion track record through every market cycle in the last 8 years speaks for itself. Don't choose between a great rate and the safety of your Bitcoin. Get both at Ledin. I want to give a shout out to our partner, BitKey. If you already self-custody your Bitcoin, you already know the deal with hardware wallets by now. Complex setups, clumsy interfaces, and a seed phrase that can be lost, stolen, or forgotten. BitKey fixes that. BitKey is a multi-sig hardware wallet built by the team behind Square and Cash App. It packs a cryptographic recovery system and built-in inheritance feature into an intuitive, easy-to-use wallet with no seed phrase to sweat over. It's simple, secure, self-custody without the stress. Time named BitKey one of the best inventions of 2024. Get 20% off at bitkey.world. That's BITKEY.world with the code SIMPLY. I want to give a shout out to our partner, Hive Digital Technologies. Fueled by clean energy, Hive has quadrupled its global Bitcoin mining footprint and channels that same scale into high-performance compute, where their AI cloud is now ranked #1 in the world for network performance. At Hive, you've got dual engines, Bitcoin and AI humming, roaring, accelerating in unison. They're lean and mean, they're green and clean, and they're rewriting the playbook on sustainable digital infrastructure. You can catch the latest buzz at Hive Digital Tech or at hivedigitaltech.com. I want to give a shout out to our partner, sat123.com. Sovereignty isn't just about your money, it's about your communications too. When the grid goes down, most people go dark. Cell towers fail in hurricanes, cyber attacks, and blackouts. But satellite phones, they don't rely on local infrastructure. Iridium has 77 satellites in orbit, giving you a direct line anywhere in the US, even offshore. If you hold your own Bitcoin keys, you should hold your own comms too. Sat123.com also has everything you need to start building your Bitcoin citadel. Starlink, battery backups, Faraday bags to protect your hardware wallets, and much, much more. It's a one-stop shop for anyone serious about resilience and off-grid independence. Stay connected, stay independent, stay sovereign. Go to sat123.com/simply today and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the store.
All right, everybody, it's the Friday show. We've made it, Opti. I wish we could play this without getting copyrighted, but here would be an appropriate time to play We Are the Champions for making it another week with a crazy price action. Trump playing the 4D chess game. Yeah, man. How are you okay? How you doing?
No, I'm dying.
Not literally.
Not literally. Well, kind of, dude. Guy, I was already telling you, my stomach's so cooked today. I was eating snacks late last night. I had the munchies, not because of any plant usage. I just had the late night munchies, and I woke up this morning and my stomach is so cooked. I don't feel that good. And then Sophie made me some breakfast, and it just made my stomach even worse. So I'm struggling to just get over the finish line, to be completely honest with everyone here. But hey, price action's looking kind of good, so it feels a little better, I guess.
Are we back?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Are we back?
Could be a bear trap. I'm trying not to get too bullish, to be honest with you guys, because I don't want to come back on the show on Monday and be like, actually, it's not over, bros.
Wait. I want to address this comment. Nico wasn't here all week, but he wants a trophy. This is very true. I wish I had a trophy with me. I would give it to Opti, because Opti did hold it down all week. Guys, the days that I don't make it on the show, Opti, can you back me up here?
I am not backing you up because I want to freaking end it all.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I don't want to do this anymore. No, I'm trolling. I did get a little black pilled on Thursday. Nico was trying to cheer me up before the show, and I was cooked. But yeah, Nico's not on the show because he's doing stuff. He doesn't get breaks, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to give you shit for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, we just brought on a new creator.
Oh yeah, go watch Hurley. Let's go. Go watch his new video.
He dropped his new video yesterday, and you guys have to check it out. It's fantastic, and we're so hyped to have an
MVP of his caliber join the team.
Dante, Hurley, Sophia, and Oceans creating original content for you guys. So this week was the logistics of that, and just getting everything ready behind the scenes. It takes a lot, guys. We're a 15-person team, so I kind of have to wear two hats, which is running the company and making sure things don't melt down, and also being a host. So Opti is literally a lifesaver. But
well, I'm saving your life by destroying my own. That's just part of the process.
Could you stop saying that type of
my
stuff,
life's
dude?
in shambles over here, guys. I'm doing my best. No, I'm actually good, guys. Don't worry. I'm like actually good. I'm just trolling. I'm just trolling. It's just fun. It's fun. The funniest part about Nico is I like constantly joke all day, every day. Like the only time I probably say something serious is on this show. And even then I'm still joking half the time, as you guys are aware. And I just like rage bait and troll Nico all day, every day. And he doesn't get that I'm making jokes the whole time, that I'm like literally not serious 90% of the time. And he takes it very seriously, and he's concerned. But that's just the way it goes.
I also got a comment, which is Ocean out? No, of course, Oceans is a partner of Simply. We just haven't recorded the ad yet, but that will be out next week. But yes, go check out Ocean.
No, I think he means, I think he's spelling Oceans.
Oh, Oceans.
Yeah,
the
I think he's spelling it
no,
wrong.
Oceans is still with us, of course.
Yeah, I think that's what
it's
it is.
It's OSHINS.
Yeah.
Oceans. Not.
I think that's
not
what the
Ocean.
question is.
I think that's what it was. But yeah, man. What a week. What a week. Always
Wait, down under blues. Opti's 42 IQs really taking advantage of.
It's pretty crazy, man. We had two heavy hitter CEOs on this week's show. We had Brandon Green, CEO of Bitcoin Magazine, and then we had president and CEO of Hive Digital Technologies, Aydin Kilic, on today's show. So, man, what a week. Heavy hitters.
Yeah, the chat.
You guys got to tune into Simply. You guys won't get this content anywhere else. So, yeah. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for putting up with us, tuning into our show. We wouldn't be here without any of y'all. We appreciate you. We love you all. Thank you. Smash the like button. Consider subscribing. I'm gonna take Opti out on a date tonight.
Pause.
So
I could do steak. Steak sounds nice.
I'm gonna take.
How about sushi?
We should just go to Benny's, bro.
No, I don't want Benny's, bro.
Why not?
Benny's is mid.
Benny's is pretty good.
That's not, dude. I'm a classy broad. If you're gonna take me out to dinner on a date, it's not Benihana's.
Okay, so what steakhouse do you want to go to?
I don't know if I really want to steak. I'm kind of craving sushi. Want to do sushi?
We do katanas.
That'd be lit.
Yeah,
but that's late.
Yeah, it is kind of late.
Let's do the one right here. Yeah. I'm hungry.
Okay.
Anyways, let's or actually we actually have time. I thought we started early, and I thought I had to hit the meeting right now, but we got like 30 minutes. Should we do some 1 minute charting? Should we do some 1 minute chart, boys? We'll do some 1 minute charts. Just you know, just
to end it with that.
Just to give the people what they want. Okay. It's not a meme right. Friday. It's a.
Why don't we do Meme Friday, bro?
Because I have to prepare a memes. I gotta, and also, dude, the memes have been pretty mid.
Is the era of memes over?
Honestly, look, you guys want memes, then make better memes, okay?
Bro, Pizza Rustica is absolutely terrible. That's where like all the tourists go. Why would you even suggest Jake?
I don't even know what that is.
You've lost the sauce, bro.
Also, it's pizza.
It's pizza.
There's no K in pizza.
It's pizza. I'm saying it right.
There's no X in
so
pizza.
How do you say it?
Pizza.
Pizza.
You don't say this is xa.
Pizza. Oh,
Get
no.
the za.
Someone in the chat. Oh no, pizza again.
Yeah, dude. There's no K or X in it. It's just za. You know, you hear people get the za.
Look at the comment. So Opti says Sophie's cooking sucks.
No, that's not what I said. She's actually an incredible chef. All right. She's actually a very good chef. For the record, everything that she cooks, I usually eat. But this morning, my stomach wasn't feeling good. And I took a couple of bites and I was like,
wow. So you're telling my wife's cooking is
no,
terrible?
it wasn't.
How could
it wasn't that. It was all of the syrup on the pancakes this morning.
You know what would make your stomach feel better? Benny honest.
No.
All right, pull up the 1 minute charts, bro. Why 1 minute?
It's just a troll. It's a troll. It's don't even want to watch.
Why 1 minute?
Because it's just fun. It's just
all right.
It's just fun to look at.
Let's pull it up. All right, what are we looking at?
The 1 minute chart. It's bullish.
So this isn't like a day or whatever. This is just a 1 minute price action.
Yeah, this is like 12 hours or something like that.
Okay. All right.
But it's just fun.
All right, what's your TA saying?
My TA is saying that the 1 minute chart is crashing and you should short it with your whole stack. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's not financial advice.
That was a joke. I'm sorry. Bad joke.
That's just Opti trolling. But I do want to give a shout out. Oh,
Foxy gets it. We're doomed.
You know what?
We're
going to give away some sats. If you guys have made it to the end of the show, I'm going to give away some sats right now. I also want to give a shout out to our sponsor as well, but hold on. Let me give away some sats first.
Get your Lightning wallets ready.
Yes, get your Lightning wallets ready. Oh, why is this not?
Or maybe not. Maybe we're getting rug pulled.
No. I'm waiting for the email. Oh, there it is. Okay. So get your Lightning wallets ready. We're going to be giving away some sats from our friends over at... Oh, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Let's try that one more time. No, okay. We're going to try to give away some sats. We're in the process of giving away some sats, but it's taking longer than usual. There it is. Let's try that one more time. Let's see if it works. Oh, it worked. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Now it's time to give away some sats because you guys have stuck around. We appreciate it. So every time you buy Bitcoin on Bitcoin Well, you earn Bitcoin Well points, and you could use those points towards a bunch of different prizes. If you earn 69 million points, you can literally, Adam O'Brien, the CEO of Bitcoin Well, will personally deliver to you an orange Cybertruck. But if you get 12,000 points, you can get a stamp seed plate. If you get 30,000 points, you get a Bitcoin nutrition hoodie. If you get a BitAxe, if you get 53,000 points, you get a BitAxe. If you get 43,000 points, you get a leather mint wallet. However, you can also use those points towards the Bitcoin Wishing Well contest. So we're going to play that for you guys live right now. Here are the odds, by the way. So 19 and 20, you win up to 2,099 sats. 1 and 20 wins up to between 2,100 to 21,000 sats. 1 and 600 wins 21,000 to 210,000 sats. 1 and 4,000 wins up to 500,000 sats. And 1 in 10,000 wins up to 1 million sats. That's right. It's like $1,000, I think, right? A little bit less than that. So we're going to be playing the Bitcoin Wishing Well contest live for you guys on air. Get your Lightning wallets ready. We're going to toss a coin into the wishing well. It's being tossed into the wishing well right now. And first person to scan the QR code has won 200.
You might need to zoom in a little bit.
Has won 210 sats. So if you scan the QR code right now, you have won 210 sats. So you got to get your Lightning wallet out, scan the QR code, and you get some sats. And you got to do it before Opti does it, because
no, I wasn't going to do that. But if it's 1 million sats, I do have a 30-second head start on it.
I also want to give a shout out to our sponsor as well. Bitcoin 2026, guys, is going to be the largest Bitcoin conference in the world. It's literally coming up less than 10 days. If you use promo code SIMPLY, you get 10% off your tickets. It's April 27th through the 29th at the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. You don't want to miss it. Bitcoin 2026, Las Vegas, Nevada, April 27th through the 29th. Simply Bitcoin will be there. We'll have a booth. It'll be great. Hope to see you guys in person. I'm going to be bringing some merch with me, so you're not going to want to miss Bitcoin 2026, the largest Bitcoin conference in the world, April 27th through the 29th in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Venetian Hotel. You want to do that cool kind of fadeaway thing?
I forgot how to do it. Oh yeah, here. All right. I'm ready. Now do it. And
all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys like the show, smash the like button, consider subscribing, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Today's episode was brought to you by BitcoinWell.com, a Bitcoin-only platform on a mission to enable financial independence.